Hello everyone. I'm gonna wait just a couple minutes to see who jumps on. Just wanted to do a spontaneous live, and of course the recording will be up, and if you're watching this it's probably the replay, but I decided I'm gonna step away from Instagram. It's just a lot of clicking, a lot of little random stories. Sometimes I want to share something and reply to, let's say, a reel or a post. I do like replying to those, but just uploading little stories that then disappear. It kind of takes a lot sometimes. So I'm going to do an Instagram live, and the rest of the videos that I hope to produce will be on YouTube. So I'm gonna, I kind of titled this for now, Foundation of Love, or Foundation for Love, Foundation to Love. But, let's kind of talk about, especially, single girls, what's important when we're building a relationship. And the reality is, before we can build a relationship with anyone else on the outside, we have our own relationship on the inside with ourselves. I have a group membership where I teach women about how to create a secure relationship with yourself, how to reparent yourself, how to be the woman that you want to be. We can use a lot of different words, but it's the same concepts. And I'm not going to talk about things just like, your identity in Christ. Okay, a lot of us grew up in church and we've heard that, and that's good and that's true, but I'm going to go deeper into the actual, the practical, the logistics. We all can head nod and say, yes, my identity in Christ is important. We all can listen to videos and sermons. I grew up, I've loved listening to sermons. I love Jesus. I just, all of that I love so much. And yet I did not know I was walking in a lot of confusion. I knew I was not experiencing the fruitful results that I desired, but I was not connecting. I am a child of God. Why am I not experiencing what I experience? And this could be a relationship, ladies. This could be your job. This could be something in your marriage, right? And what was happening with me is that, as most of you have known, I finally hired my first coach. And that's when my life started to transform. And I was finally able to receive, pinpointed, specific, insightful instructions, guidance, insight, wisdom to my specific situation, right? Again, there's nothing wrong with understanding I love God, God loves me, all of that. And again, the reason my heart goes out to this is because I see so many girls who want to be good, who are involved in church, are involved in lots of ministries. They do a lot, they give a lot. Again, they have a massive heart, but their personal life is not reflecting the love that I think every woman desires. Probably every human, but I'm talking to women, right? And that was the disconnect that I was feeling in my life. I don't understand, how can I love God so much? I serve, I do, but why do I have such a massive disconnect in my own life with the desires of my heart? What about me as a daughter? Yes, I believe scripturally I am a daughter of God. I get it. I believe in it. Being daughterhood, we talked about sonship and stuff like that, but what about the desires of my heart? What about me not just serving and doing things for people, but what about me experiencing love and peace and abundance and that type of breakthrough? And it wasn't until I started to work with my first coach, and I say first because since that totally opened me up and took me to high levels, now to me it's an honor and a luxury to continue to be involved with other women who can take me to higher places. Sorry, glitch. But what started to happen was, I'll just give you kind of a backstory, and I shared recently a video in depth in my talk shop about this. At the time, I was talking to a guy, I'm going to call him Mike. I was talking to a guy who, sorry, I'm not reminiscing about Mike. I just see my husband outside. He got a fresh haircut. He's looking good. He's making me blush. Anyways, wow. Okay, so I was talking to this guy. This is before I met my husband. And I just remember thinking like, wow, this is actually like the best guy I've ever talked to. Like, he's actually talking to me. He's kind. He seemed way more masculine than, I don't know, at least the guys I was used to talking to. I mean, masculine in the aspect of like, I see the protector, I see the provider. He was a working man. He was, he had a lot of wonderful things going on in his life. He was a Christian. I just thought like, wow, like maybe this relationship could be compatible. Maybe something can happen between us. And so I, without realizing this, I decided to just really, I had no background of being in relationships, by the way. I was never in a relationship my entire life. And so I just thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna be like a friend, and maybe that can blossom into something. And I don't think I was thinking or hoping for anything wrong. We all hear this again, advice. Good marriages are based on good friendships, etc. And although that's nice and that's good, the problem was I started to reach out to him with, I hate to say it, but it became with an agenda. Reaching out and saying, hello, how are you doing? What's going on? I wasn't just doing that because a friend. It was like, if I really dug into it, and that was with the help of my coach, exposing my heart and my motives. Again, I thought I was just being a good girl, good Christian, a good person, just checking in, how you doing? But I started to realize, okay, there was an agenda attached to that. And that kind of goes into masculine mode when we get into the logistics. At first I was like, masculine mode, I'm a girl, like, I don't look like a guy, what? Like, I don't even yell, like, I don't understand. And I started to realize it was masculine mode in the aspect where anytime I would like reach out and say hello, it was so that hopefully he could reply, he could connect with me, maybe he can finally see my value, maybe something could happen out of that. And I didn't realize that it wasn't just me being good. There was a deeper agenda of me trying to force or create, or the reality is manipulate something. And I remember the first time my coach even said that is a form of manipulation, I just could not believe it. That to me was just, that sounded so evil and so rude, and there were so many layers that I started to realize. I'm trying to make something, force something on the outside. Well, if I do this, then he might do this. There's so much strategy, and it goes into like masculine mode. It goes into manipulation mode. I did not know any of these energies. I didn't understand any of that. And she taught me to redirect into myself and create within what I desired. And at first, none of that made any sense. What do you mean? How do you pull a relationship out of thin air? What do you mean? I've been waiting forever. I want to experience love. How in the world does everyone else do it? Everyone else is dating and they get their shots. Like, how can I not talk to this guy? Like, what do you mean, pull back? Like, I just was extremely confused. And, she started to talk about when you're operating in freedom, pure love, no strings attached, you are in your feminine flow, you're operating out of healed, a healed energy, I am enough, I am lovely, like everything that you desire. When you believe that and start to actually live out of that, because all of our actions and behaviors in this world are a direct representation, a direct representation of the energy that's actually within us, that's guiding us. You can say spirit, I don't care what word you use, I use them synonymously, okay? So whatever's on the inside, you will act like that on the outside, and like always attracts like. Okay, there has to be always some kind of dynamic. There always is a match in this world for everything. And there is no relationship in this world. I don't care how much someone gets mad at this statement, but if you have been in a relationship with someone, I don't care if you hate them. I don't care if it's horrible. I don't care if it's bad. You guys were compatible in the aspect where you guys energetically were some kind of agreement. Okay. You did something that, the cycle was reinforced, whatever dysfunction was going on. And I see this a lot, sometimes people blame, oh, this narcissist guy or this rude person or this, that, whoever they're blaming. And it's like that person doesn't exist in a relationship unless there's someone who is agreeing and consenting consciously, subconsciously, it doesn't matter, to be in that relationship with them. And so if they don't feel like they deserve better, they are lowering themselves, essentially abandoning, if not abusing themselves. And who are they going to link up with in life other than someone who does just that? Hurt them, make them suffer. But then again, it's like you cannot blame the other person in life for anything, really. Now, not just a caveat here, I'm not talking about things that are immoral, illegal, unethical. I'm not talking about kids. Okay, I'm talking about adults who have to take responsibility for their actions. But you can't, just blame everyone and be in this constant victim mode until you realize, why are you drawn to that? Why are you in a relationship with this type of guy or these type of guys? And the next girl will never be caught in a relationship that's unhealthy. What's the difference between her and you? And it just goes back to what's within us. Yes, our energies, our motives, how we live our life, our morals, our everything. All this invisible stuff on the inside comes out in the outside. And so I was just like so confused for me, how is it like, am I just filled with so much darkness in my life or something that I can't seem to attract and have a normal relationship that I like? I'm not saying I didn't have guys that liked me. It was like, oh, if he likes me, I don't like him. And if I like him, he doesn't like me. It was always this unavailable, unreal, just in my imagination relationship that I struggled with and I was stuck in. And sure, I had prayers in my heart. I never wanted to really date around per se. I wanted to have the guy that was for me to be mine. The guy that I date, the first guy that I date, I marry. And I did get that. But I was so confused in the beginning as like, Lord, am I just filled with so much darkness that I can't attract anyone normal or something? And I remember my coach said, no, that's not the case. There's so much light in you. Like, you have such a high call in your life. I do believe that for everyone, but you have so much light in you that it detracts, it just pushes away anything that's not meant to be for you. And it was like, that's so encouraging, but so not encouraging, because how am I ever supposed to have a relationship with a guy? How do I not talk to guys? Again, why is it that every other girl seems to be dating and getting married, and here I am, doing God's stuff, involved in good things in life and serving and helping people, but what about my heart? And thank goodness my coach helped me disconnect from that guy, because I was putting out too much energy into that and I was still getting nothing out of it other than confusion and hurt and what I interpreted as mixed signals. I was just projecting so much of my stuff, my shadows, my expectations, my hopes, it was so messy. She's like, we gotta stop this. Like, you gotta believe in abundance. And so when she did put me before I got on a dating app, like she told me, and she said, you are doing this for yourself. You're doing this to learn about you, your tendencies, whatever you're attracting through conversations or lack of, it's always going to be a reflection about you. So I want you to learn all the data that you can about you. Ladies, I want to say something. I don't know who's hearing this, but anytime I hear someone squirm or get weird or like huffy or puffy when, like, let's say I gave you the same exercise if you're single, get on a dating app. If every time you're like, no, God's got it, I'm gonna with love rebuke that a little bit, okay? Because it's not the app. That's not the point. It's what are you doing in this life to learn about yourself and get feedback about you? How do you learn other than when you're in relationships with people? And for the women that I usually work with, they're go-getters, they're strong, they're doing, they're serving, they're leading. They're always in that masculine doing, giving mode where you have this woman actually sit back and become the student is kind of humbling and scary. Because these are women like myself who was petrified to actually open up my heart and receive attention, correction, love, actually be seen and valued for me, which all requires opening up your heart and being vulnerable. And here's where these women get stuck. I want a masculine man without realizing, girl, you are in your masculine. You can only attract someone who's in their feminine, or someone who's just wounded or whatever. So anyways, ladies, this has nothing to do with apps, okay? And in fact, anytime I do hear women are like, God's got me, I gotta do nothing. No, that's irresponsible. I don't believe in that. I'm not saying you are trying to force something through an app. Again, see, it comes back to the same principles. You're not forcing things on the outside. You might be like, you might be just as guilty as one girl trying to get on an app to like find her husband and make something happen. Just like you might be guilty going to church and going to these conferences and services so you find your guy there. Like, you're still operating at the same energy. This is where I speak with a lot of, at this point, authority, and I get fired up because I like to help people break out of stagnant patterns. And I'm tired of seeing these strongholds that hold women back. So the purpose of me going on this app, like my coach explained it, she said, you're not going there to find your husband. You're going into a setting where there's enough reflection from men that you will learn about yourself. You need data. Okay, you don't need to just keep guessing and being obsessed with one guy who's non-existent. You need real data to tell you where are you in your life right now, by what you are drawing or not. That is all data. And so when I said, fine, you're right. Like and I realized that, it's like I had a lot of fears come up. Fear of learning about myself. Imagine that. Fear of seeing where am I in life. Fear of seeing the data. Fear of being seen. Wow, I want to be seen. I want to be loved. And now I'm afraid because what if I'm seen by a man? Like, all these things, these are these confusing, conflicting energies that we have to start to work through and clean up. And then we wonder why we're stuck in life for decades, in pain, unnecessary, praying and crying to God like me, until I finally said, I need help. And I'm going to trust that God's going to bring like answers through a real human being, because I need specific answers. And so this is where, my journey kind of started. And so my coach said, okay, before you even get on, again, you're doing this for yourself, for you. But she just really opened me up and said, she spoke that love, that light, that love that I needed. And she talked about, Elena, you are, you're beautiful, you're gifted, you're talented. I mean, she like, as a woman, she didn't just hype me up. This wasn't like a balloon and inflated me. She unlocked something in me that I was like, I am? I just get like a little emotional talking about this, because we all like good women will try to, speak this stuff like, oh, you're beautiful, you're good, you're this, to one another. But like, how much of us can actually receive and believe that? Again, talk about me going into my feminine. My coach was in that teaching mode. She was in that giving mode, correcting, providing guidance. She is in that masculine mode. And here I am now. I have to be in my feminine to receive. Okay, women, do you see the dynamics? And this is why I'm really pro mentorship, teaching, guidance. Hire yourself a coach. Work with me, work with someone else. It doesn't matter. But women, if you want to receive from the masculine in life before you can even receive a physical man, or even if you have a man, the masculine, it's an energetic. How can you really receive from God, from a teacher, or even your husband, or maybe a man? It doesn't matter, right? If you can't open up to the energy, regardless what context we're talking about. And I find this parallel a lot of times, the same women who can't open up and receive instruction from another woman, even, they're the same women who can't, again, be in their feminine and open up and receive from an actual physical man, biological man with masculine man energy. You guys get what I'm talking about here, right? So she opened something up in me. She started to I didn't in my head say, oh yeah, I have talents. Yeah. It was something in me where it was like, I am lovely. Yes, I am a girl. I am fun. Yeah. She just something in me awakened, came online and believed her, not in my head, but in my body, in my cells, in my heart, came alive. And thank goodness I had a woman who guided me through my whole every step of the way, I can guarantee you that God was so committed to seeing me have a testimony, have success in my life, that he at that time, I was like, I need help. And through the pain, I need help. It's not working. I'm frustrated. I feel pathetic. I keep journaling, like, what's going on? I keep praying, like, I pray more. I finally broke out, in that frustration. That's so much of the feminine. I finally got the help that I needed. Okay, I finally was like, I'm desperate enough, I'm ready enough, let's do this. And God ensured the success of my steps by providing, if I could say, the Naomi that I really needed in my life to birth this love story that I really wanted. Anyway, so what happened was, anytime I'd have a question, and I had a bajillion, quadrillion, thousand questions. Anytime I was unsure, anytime I was doing something that was regressing back into my old ways and the same patterns that got me nowhere, thank God I had a woman who was like a light bearer, who would just speak truth and shine light and say, Elena, what's this? Is this your old behavior? Oh, is this a manipulative energy? Oh, Elena, I actually love how open you are about this. Oh, Elena, she would see from that outside perspective where I was not blinded to, and she would, continue to speak that encouragement and kind of like gave me those, masculine kind of like the banks to the river so I could do my thing and figure it out. Was I perfect? No, and it has nothing to do with perfection. But I was finally open to receiving and experiencing something different. And the best part about this was I started a new foundation. New foundation meaning new energies, which meant pure love, pure energy. Going into that feminine. No agenda, me not forcing things, me not manipulating by trying to be a good girl, I was doing none of my old stuff. And any time, and this doesn't even just apply for this relationship, it's anything in my life now. Before I would do anything, before I act or react, it was always, what's the motive behind what you're doing? And any time, if it still comes up, I'm trying to prove myself, I'm trying to get attention, it's operating out of that lack, right? That scarcity versus abundance. I'm trying to get something, trying to fill myself, like, if only you do this for me, then I have to nip it in the butt quickly. And lo and behold, life started to change very quickly. Why? Because the seed, you start to change what seed you have, and it's like, oh my gosh, I've just been so frustrated all my life. I keep having corn grow and I want apples. And you start to actually change the seed. Instead of complain about the seed, you change it in your energy and what you give. Wow, I actually have apples. So imagine how that works. And so all that to say, the reason I titled this The Foundation of Love is sometimes I see, like I just saw a video right before this. This man was saying, women, you want to have an amazing relationship, an amazing marriage, have your heart open, communicate, be open, be in your feminine, show your nurturing heart. I mean, he's going and saying all these things that are, yes, foundational to love and healthy relationships in general. And almost always, I mean, it's just the plague and the evil and the downfall of this earth. The first comment you see, yeah, been there, done that, divorced, never happened. He was abusive. I wasted 30 years of my life giving my heart. Stop. And this is where, again, graduating in some ways in my life and seeing how some of that victim manipulative child temper tantrum stuff comes out. I could see now what's going on, and I can call people out for what it is. A healthy, good rebuke. Okay? Because what's going on is the foundation to a good marriage, yes, is all of that. But how many of us started like that? And this is why, yes, I work with married women and I love it, but I absolutely believe in the power of a the woman being able to settle into that feminine, to open up, to do what needs to happen, to be in that healthy, and then that polarity starts to work. And then the man, yes, he has sovereign will, free will, sovereignty. He chooses how much he wants to respond. So I know in marriage there's going to be some cleanup work, and we're never perfect, right? But I'm talking about like how many of us, while we're single, and if you're single and you're listening to this video, this replay, this is for you. Are you trying to start your relationships based off of, oh, I'm hoping for a new relationship, but are you doing it based off of the same energies, the same patterns, the same dynamics? It's not going to be it's not going to be different. You're going to experience the same circus, different clown. And I'm going to use that phrase a lot probably in my work. But how many of us, like, I'm not glorifying myself. I'm grateful that I got help. Okay, I humbled enough to receive help. And yes, with God's promptings and all of that and his grace. But how many of us start relationships, friendships, careers, it doesn't matter. How many of us start with new energy coming from us, setting the foundation to build something truly new. You're not going to experience different fruit if it's the same seed. And if you're not doing anything different, and before you can truly even do anything different, your energy has to change, your motives, right? You have to be healed. That has to happen first. And again, I'm gonna preface this. Your behaviors alone, you just doing things differently, very rarely, I mean, you can't lie. Energy does not lie. I don't know what other word to use. The fruit does not lie. You can't be like, I can't believe it. I've been planting apple seeds my whole life and I just keep getting corn. That's not how it works. You've been planting corn seeds, or you've been deceived or misguided, but you have corn seeds if you are, right? So with that being said, I have a friend who, a beautiful, amazing friend, but she's going through a divorce right now. And she was disclosing to me recently, and she said, I don't even know what to say about my life right now. I have a marriage that ended. I'm trying to grieve and process, like, how did I even get into that? Like, I could say anything I want about him, but like, what in me united with that? What in me for years stayed silent and thought it was okay? Like, how did I get wrapped up in those dynamics without even like seeing it for what it is? And she's like, not only am I trying to process that, like post newly divorced, she said, I can't believe it. I just realized I'm still doing the same toxic, dysfunctional thing. I found this new church. I found 5 ministries to get involved with. I found some lady I keep volunteering all my time. I found that, wow, I am doing the same exact thing. Again, different circus, or same circus, or different, whatever. Same circus, different clown. She's like, it's not even with a man. And yeah, like, I keep regurgitating the same energies. Why am I again in a codependent relationship where I'm being used and I give my all? Why am I just as resentful and burnt out and exhausted as I was prior? She's like, I realized I keep going, I keep doing, I keep distracting, and it's these trauma coping mechanisms that I'm stuck in, and I keep doing and recreating the same dysfunction, right? And I realized I need to actually pause and sit and reflect and feel and process. Because you can't skip the inner work stuff within you. It will always come up. And I remember crying even to my first coach. Like, I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, all my friends, married, kids, this, that. And she's like, Elena, people experience different milestones in life in different orders. Someone has a business that flourishes, or they do business stuff first. Someone gets married and does business later. Someone has kids and then gets married and then has, everyone does different things. The milestone, like the milestones, or those like mile markers in life, aren't a predictor of your success. Those are just, again, external, outside events, things. Again, accomplishments, or whatever accomplishments we say, right? What matters is the inner work, the inner growth and development that's happening as we move along. You can have a marriage, you can have a dysfunctional marriage that you've resented, it's been horrific, and then you're like, oh, praise God, the first 49 years were just hell on earth, and we finally experienced a breakthrough in love. I don't know, is that your definition of a successful marriage? Is that what you desire? right? Okay, wow, this person's married. Okay, wow, this person has a kid. Okay, wow, like again, this person has a job. Like again, like hear me out. Like I'm speaking to a mature audience. The outside stuff, that's awesome, that's amazing, but what's the substance, the health, the quality within your marriage, within your business, with your employees, with your children, right? That's different. And the world just gets so hyped up on these outside stuff, manipulate the outside. Oh, this doesn't work. Okay, get married again. Okay, have another job. Okay, da, 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 da. And everyone's busy, 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 busy. And we're not even tuning in and saying, I keep recreating the same mess. Again, the same fruit, same dysfunction. What seed do I need to change? And the only way we can do that, tune in. Start your inner healing. Start to process. Start to identify what are your patterns, what are your tendencies, where do you participate in dysfunction, to what degree, what are your triggers, what are your traumas, roles, etc., etc. And when you start to realize what that is, what the real driving factors, influences have been in your life, then you can do something different. Then you cultivate pure, clean energy. And out of that love for yourself, you stop abandoning, stop being mean and rude to yourself, stop abusing and being a victim or being a bully or whatever. Stop doing that to you. Start developing a healthy, strong, secure, respectful, loving, God-honoring relationship with yourself. And out of that energy, you will start to relate, attract, discuss, do, interact on a way healthier level. Okay? So all that to say, if you have questions, you can ask. I see a question and I'll come back to it. Type in, ladies, whatever questions you have. Or if this is posted as a replay on YouTube or Instagram, type your questions, DM me. Let's go for this. Ladies, I mean, the inner work that people is our responsibility, is our responsibility. We cannot continue to blame life and people and God and all these external stuff. That's the easy road. And it's not easy when it's just prolonged suffering and stuck cycles. Okay, it's so much better to just pause and be like, what am I doing? Why do I keep recreating? It's like the harder I pull, the harder I try, the less, it's just, I'm burning energy, right? It's like a tire. You're spitting out and it's just burning out. And maybe you just need to pause and reassess what's really going on. And that's the work that I do with myself. I still have people who guide me and refine me. I'm a believer of this, and that's what I do. That's what I do with the women that I work with, whether it's counseling, whether it's the coaching side, my membership. I mean, there's so many tools at this point. It doesn't even have to be me, right? There's so many tools and people, but my point is, women, who are you connected with? Who are you allowing to guide you, to give you? Like I said in the beginning, I don't want to, I see some new people hopping on, and I don't want to repeat the whole message, but it's what I said in the beginning. You want to receive all the abundance and blessing and goodness from masculine, the God, God, man, all of that. And yet you can't even receive instruction, correction from another woman because she's in a teaching, giving, aka it's that masculine energy role. If you can't even listen, hear, open up to another woman speaking to you, guiding you, giving you wisdom, success, like successful fruit. I'm not saying, lie to yourself and work with people who are in dysfunction. Like, use your senses, use your judgment. Is this the person who has fruit? And either they do or they don't. And again, like we said, we're not looking at just outside stuff. Oh, they're married, they're successful. No. Okay. Real fruit. So anyways, there's just this correlation in life. Where do you struggle to receive? And if you don't even know how to receive from, let's say, a coach, a mentor, a friend, it doesn't even matter. You're not going to be able to receive in life, period. The blessings that life has to offer. And blessings will again only come to a woman who can hold and who has the responsibility and health to receive, to hold, to steward blessings. Otherwise, you will leak them, you won't receive them, you will block them off, etc. And so, yes, I spent my first 10, I'll just say 10, 15 years of life not knowing how to date, not knowing how to talk to guys, but that same, again, struggle of not knowing how to receive, relax, rest, surrender, just all these life principles. It's not just a guy, it's life. My relationship with God and everything in the world connected to me is relationship. Your unhealthy relationship with yourself, whether it's, I'm not going to go into attachment styles, but whatever your relationship is with yourself, you're going to continue to build a life in relationship like that. And as soon as you start to heal and open up and have responsibility and wisdom, the world, yes, it will relate differently to you because you're relating to it differently. And so when I say foundation of love, I mean, it's everything. Foundation of love, of life, of relationships. To be successful, do you have pure love and health and respect and all the good fruit cultivated within you? And so, and I mentioned, these, this reel that I saw right before this live, this guy's talking about what it takes to be in a successful relationship. And he's talking about, love and communication and feminine and all these beautiful things. And I just see these negative comments. Not that I even work with people like that, obviously, but it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when we are so busy blaming and complaining. And I'm not saying there isn't a grieving point, but there's so much learning. And wisdom would say, open up your heart and your ears and let the spirit through other people teach you something that you probably don't know. And let's be humble here. And it's like that friend I talked about who's going through that divorce. She's just like, yeah, failed marriage. Okay, yeah. How can I blame him when clearly again in life, without even a man, I'm recreating the same toxic patterns. I still feel just as old and tired and burnt out and resentful as I did before. And that guy is somehow not even in my life anymore, huh? And that's how it works. So if you are stepping into a new relationship, maybe you already are in a relationship, maybe you're just wanting to do something different in life, stop trying to manipulate and make things happen on the outside. Before you do that, do the stuff on the inside, do the inner work, clean up the energies, clean up your house. You are responsible. The Bible says guard your heart. That doesn't mean don't have desires and don't be a female and don't wish. No, that means your heart is open. Your heart is moldable. You are watching what's coming in and watching what's coming out. And yes, faith without works is dead. So out of this pure energy that you are cultivating, you are now responsible to act in alignment with your behaviors and decisions in life as you move forward. Whether it's having boundaries, standards, communication skills, okay? The reason why we call a lot of this stuff relationship skills, coaching skills, you build those, you develop those, okay? Healing is your own inner stuff. And yes, you receive skills probably from skilled people who have some tools to share with you. But a lot of life is not magic. It's you create and co-create with God. So hopefully that encourages some of you. If you missed some of the beginning, watch the replay. I have a question I'm going to come back to right now. When you learned about your coping mechanisms, were you self-aware of your negative energies before you would do something, or did it take reflection afterwards? I think that's a good question. I think that oftentimes we can be aware. Oh, like I just get quiet about things, or I just get so angry and I just spit everything out and then I regret it, right? We might have some level of an idea of what we do, but I firmly believe, like, what's the point of us recreating the wheel when a lot of this stuff, content, information, education exists? And I know, yes, God can reveal supernaturally, yes, but when there's so many things that are already in existence, for instance, like when just understanding what flight mode or fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode do you get into? How do you know when you're triggered? Wait, what's a trigger? Wait, how do you react? Oh, you don't mentally know? Wait, let's process the situation that just happened. You shut down and isolated and you drove off and then you went and spent money and you were numb the whole time. Like when you start to really, like, you can be aware, and I think a lot of people aren't even aware, if I'm being honest. We're just numbed out. We're just doing, we're just distracting. You know, it's just who I am. It's my personality. And no, it's not. And I think when you just like have to pause and say, who am I? I need to study myself as a template. It's no different than you as the feminine. You know, I do a lot of this feminine work and I'm going deeper into it. Oh, well, you know, what flavor do you like? What color? How do you know until you experience it? Have you ever thought about it? You know, it's like, here's 5 drinks. Which flavor do you like? Did you just sip through it? Which one did you like? Why did you like this one? Was it because it was bubbly? Because this is strawberry? Like, you have to tune in. You just don't just mentally, we as women think we can mentally pop things off, but that's us in that mental mode. And the reality is that's not what's really driving us. It's what's within, deeply embodied. And so yes, I think I do have some level of awareness, because some of it's how I'm created, maybe through my health, through my traumas, through my gifts, through the skills I've attained. I have degrees, blah, blah, blah. I mean, sure, I came in with something, but let me tell you, the true awareness, or if I could say awakening, came when another woman came into my life and just mirrored everything at me. And I was working with her for the purpose of self-growth and development, and to experience the abundant life. And so there's nothing like a mirror and light illuminating that stuff. And again, she it's not like she knows everything about me. I still had homework, reflection homework. Hey, how do you act when something happens? Hey, what's your pattern? Hey, what did you do again? Hey, you texted that guy. What was your real motivation? I wanted to be a nice girl. No, that doesn't sound nice. We learn from patterns. He never responds, and then you feel really crappy and stupid, and then you just like, you waste 2 days sulking. So why'd you reply this time? Oh, you're hoping this time he's gonna change his mind and see something in you, and maybe he'll like you, and maybe you will feel good about yourself. Woo! That's a whole nother level of awareness, and I just don't know how many of us can really get into that without community. Women are relational. We need community to learn things, to grow together. I can give things to people, and again, we all have blind spots, and I still have to have my own women and people who guide me. And we have different seasons in life, right? How I was acting and doing and living life when I was single versus dating versus now married versus when I have children. I'm going to change. I'm going to evolve. And that's why, again, it's so important to have women in my life. So hopefully that, obviously answers somewhat of your question. Yes, I'd say we have somewhat awareness. I think we have as much awareness as we can with blind spots, because we're always going to have blind spots when it comes to us. But if we really want true, exposure? If you're ready for that raw nakedness, but responsibility, but also power, then yes, that's I do believe that's when we invite people intimately into our life for that. So ladies, I'll just one more question. What are the fruit of a healthy, whole, healed woman? A woman who's navigating life out of pure energy. Well, I will say this. I think, Marta, because I know you, you could probably tell me, because it's not, I get sometimes we're almost like brainwashed from certain backgrounds. I get sometimes we don't even know how to think, but the fruit is, I think of fruit, I wish I had a piece of fruit right now, but it's tangible. You can literally use your 5 senses. I see it. Oh, this is red. Oh, this is a little stem. I open it. Ooh, it's white. I start to piece together. It's an apple, right? I taste it. Oh, wow. This is so sweet, but like a little sour, tart. I can hear the crunch. I can smell, right? Like we can all assess, feel. It's this embodiment. Like you can tell me what good fruit is. Only when we're abused, gaslit, when we are... It's almost like, when I say gaslit, it's like, oh, here's a delicious piece of fruit and you eat it. And let's say most people will say, this is really tasty. Wow. And someone tells you, no, it's not. It's disgusting. It's poisonous. Like, it's gross. You're gross for thinking, and that messes with us. And then I'm not talking about someone who doesn't even know what a good fruit is. I'm talking about, Marta, you know what good fruit is. What does clarity feel like? What does feeling relaxed feel like? Again, emotions in your body, in your life, not just in your head. Oh yeah, happy, I'm happy. No, how does it mean? How does it feel to take a deep breath and receive some help? And when you have a need, know someone's there to help you. What are the fruit that the Bible talks about? And the Bible talks about the fruit, of Jesus: joy, peace, happiness, gentle. Like I don't have to tell you, because I don't want to disembody or not believe you as a woman don't know. We know what good fruit is. You look at a woman. Oh, she looks so confident. She feels, there's a security about her. She's so relaxed. She doesn't have to prove herself. She just put on that dress and she just loved how she felt, and the way she smiled, how she right. We can sense it, is what I'm saying. You can't lie. You can see a woman who looks perfect, and we've all seen this, and how she talks and acts is nasty. You tell me, is that good fruit? You can feel it. And babies will be drawn to you, okay? If you don't know about, adults, a puppy will be drawn to you. They will feel safe, a baby, etc., right? So you tell me, what does it feel like if you were to sit in that? A healthy, whole, healed woman, I think it's an embodiment, knowing what that is. Just like when I was, dating, starting to, I'm like, well, I'm trying to be this, I'm trying to be that. No. If you already believe, you're open, you're confident, like you are the prize, and I'm not talking about like an ego way or entitled, but like you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are the woman, you are fun, you are open, you are vibrant. Right? That like how would you be? How would you respond to this? And that's what, your ideal man probably wants. Because if you're closed off and you're tired and you're insecure and you're so anxious and you have to text him, like, what are you going to draw? What kind of man with what kind of fruit are you going to draw? So hopefully that helps. Ladies, if you're watching this, I'm going to try to have links. If this is Instagram, then go to my bio, link tree. And if you are watching this now on YouTube as I wrap up, then click on any of the links below. I should have it tagged. I do a talk shop group membership where I go deep into these topics, and I work intimately with women who are ready to receive this work. And I provide also individual coaching sessions, and we all know you will go further with a person who sees your blind spots, who can see your strengths, who can see what you're breaking off, help you identify patterns. That's what changed my life. Even till this day, anytime I go for cheaper options for group stuff, and sometimes I do for group subscriptions, I know that the real money, the real investment, and the real results come from the one-on-ones. So I do that. If you live in the state of Washington and you feel like you need deeper help, I do provide counseling. And check out my free stuff. Check out my maladaptive assessments that I have, or the survival patterns. Like, again, don't recreate the wheel. It's kind of a longer assessment, but it's professional. And also I have a $15 course about how to process like triggers. And it could be like your fears of dogs to just like in general, like when trauma's hijacked, you don't know how to react, you're still afraid of something. How do you process a trigger so that you can have freedom, and better yet, not pass it down to your kids? Because healing is possible, like I've said. Stop pretending like you have to do everything by yourself, and get yourself in community with women who already have success. So email me, DM me. I'm going to read the last comment. Marta says, yes, I completely agree. I know that feeling, and I also know when something is off. Appreciate your words. Yes, and that's that feminine, and that's you, again, restoring your relationship, your secure relationship with yourself. And yes, it takes, I actually had a group session about this, and it's like, well, then how do we ever know? How do we heal? How do you know what's right? How do you know how to trust yourself? And there's no easy way to say this other than the more you heal, the more you can discern. The more you heal, right, the more you can be accurate, right? The more wisdom there is, the more just truth and success. There's no other way. So hopefully this blessed you ladies. Watch the replay if you missed the beginning. Oh, blessings, bliss. May you have an abundantly beautiful life. These are coming out. I can't smile. But anyways, I'll talk to you girls later and reach out to me. Thank you for your hearts.